Hello. So I would really like to talk about this topic this week. It's something that's really I've been feeling building within me, and something that I just feel ready to talk about a little bit more. And you may have guessed that I probably don't have the typical view of the climate crisis, the one that is promoted heavily within the media, the one that's promoted all the time, every day in the news, everywhere you go. There's all this, everything is going green and everything is about sustainability. And I'm not for 1 second saying that there isn't a problem with the way that humans interact with our external world and with the world around us, okay? That's not what I am suggesting for 1 second. There absolutely is a problem with the way that we are treating our home, the earth, you know? However, I am also not of the belief that we are in an imminent climate crisis, or that we are in any way under imminent threat from our earth, from the home that we live on, okay? And my reasons for that are, one, being a channel and being someone who communes with Gaia regularly. If you've had a session with me, then it's very likely that Gaia has come through, or if not, then she will have most certainly been helping to support and to hold the container. And I'm someone who is a grid worker, who gets sent to all different places, working with the grids of the planet and supporting with that in whatever way I'm advised to. So for me, when I'm seeing all of this stuff around the climate crisis, around, all of this stuff, for me, it makes me question, okay, well, what is the deeper agenda behind this? Why are there so many private companies? Why are there so many foundations? Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, for example, who are very, very keen to have us believe that we are under imminent threat from the world that we live in, that we are under imminent threat from disease, from natural disasters, etc., etc. And part of what this I think on the deep kind of soul level, what this does to people is they can't anchor in to their mission, they can't anchor into their healing, they can't anchor into all of that stuff, because there's this fear that any day you could be swept away by a tsunami or some kind of disaster. And it also comes with this narrative that there is this like guilt, or there is this blame that should be held by people around this, that should be held by people. And, it's this sort of, I see this kind of stuff in the sort of Gen Z kind of generation, which sort of says stuff like, yeah, like the boomers like destroyed the planet for us, and all of these, even these terms like boomer, Gen Z, Gen X, it just serves to, it's divide and conquer. That's what it is. And that's what this whole agenda is about, is divide and conquer. And like I say, I'm not saying there isn't a problem with the way that we interact with the earth around us. Of course there is, because it's a reflection of how we interact with ourselves. That's the problem, and what they want is for people to fall into this sort of activism where they're like, yeah, climate justice, and all of this kind of stuff. And it's just like, but are you doing the inner work? Are you looking at yourself on a day-to-day basis? Are you sitting with yourself? Are you sitting with your emotions? Are you looking into potentially past life stuff? Are you like looking into your ancestral line and how you can work to heal that? Because if you're looking at the climate crisis but you're not looking at that other stuff, then you aren't actually doing anything to help and support the earth and the world. It's like, true change comes from within, first and foremost, beyond, above all, everything. It comes from within. And so if we're just sitting here looking outside going, this is a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem, but we're not looking within and seeing how it is a perfect reflection, it's a perfect mirror for us to look at ourselves, then it serves absolutely no purpose whatsoever. And if you're also in that place of where you're holding all that shame and all that guilt and all that, oh my God, you know, I'm such a terrible person, like I am contributing to the climate crisis by flying on a plane twice a year, then you're also remaining locked in your lower chakras. You're remaining locked in you're remaining locked in fear, which is the root, and you're remaining locked in guilt, which is the sacral. And that is what these beings who have these darker agendas, that is where they want us, because that is the only two places they can latch onto the human energy field in order to feed off of us, you know, as these parasitic forms that they are. And so if you remain locked in that place, then you're actually helping the dark agenda. You're actually serving it. You're actually serving the dark, you know, without meaning to, you know, I'm not accusing anybody here, but without meaning to, you know. And so when we turn our gaze inward, and of course we can use the outer world as a reflection, as a mirror, but when we really start to work on our hearts, that's when we're able to receive, you know. It's like I have people that I work with, you know, who have plugged into all of this stuff and who are very like, have a lot of fear in their fields around it, you know, and I have total empathy for that, because it's a really difficult place to be, and you plug into all these grids in the fourth dimension, you know, and you read things psychically. That's what it looks like, is like grids, like lines of grids that hold all of this information, and you can plug into this one, you can plug into that one, but you can also pull yourself out of it, you know. So if I'm saying this and it's resonating with you, I really recommend you like call all of your energy back to you and send back all energy that isn't yours. That's just great spiritual hygiene anyway. But all of these grids are just layered with fear. And when you are living in fear of your world, your home, your earth destructing, then how are you meant to focus on yourself, on your inner work, on healing your ancestral line, etc.? That doesn't come top of the list because you're in survival mode. And I totally, again, you know, I empathize with that, and I feel like now is the time, you know. I'm feeling this so much, like, and I'm seeing other mystics and things receiving this same thing, which is like, now is the time. Like, now is really the time. If you are ever sitting on the fence about shit, now is the time to like anchor into your truth. Like, now is the time. You're being called to do that, you know, to really, really tune into that discernment, you know. If you are someone whose gaze is often pulled outside of yourself in terms of distractions, to really use that discernment and go, how am I plugging into this, you know? How is this affecting me? Like, genuinely, how is this affecting me? And how is this causing me to almost give myself excuses to not be the person that I want to be? You know, that is honestly one of the most common things I see with clients, is like, they have all the potential in the world. They have all the potential in the world. Everybody on this planet does. But we find 1,000,001 excuses not to step into who we are, not to step into our purpose, because it's fucking really scary. It's really fucking scary to step into who you are and show the world who you are, and to just, you know, shout it from the rooftops and not be afraid. And that comes down to past life wounding. That comes down to ancestral trauma going back hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years, you know. It's not easy, but it's necessary. It is necessary. And I think that part of the sort of thing behind the whole climate justice thing as well is being like a fixer, feeling like somebody who, you know, it's like the mark of unconditional love is we can see where people are at and we don't try and change them. And it doesn't mean we change who we are either, but we go, okay, I understand where you're at, and that's okay. Maybe we don't commune anymore. Maybe we don't come into communion anymore, and that's fine, you know, but I see where you're at. I love you. It might not mean I want to be around you, but I see where you're at, you know. And with this whole climate justice thing, it's like, it's forcing this like change, you know, of like, in terms of like these superficial factors in terms of these very, very surface level things which don't actually create that deep, deep change within, you know. It always starts from within. And so that's how I feel this is how I'm seeing it playing out with the earth, because it's like, yes, the climate is changing because the earth is going through a massive shift. Talk to Gaia right now and ask her, are you going through a massive shift? And she'll tell you, hell yes, I fucking am. I'm clearing all of this karma. She's clearing all of this karma, you know, and not in a bad way, like she's done something wrong and blah, blah, blah. Not in that way. And karma as in actions have consequence. She is clearing that. And sometimes that will look like disruption in the ocean. Sometimes that will look like things melting. Sometimes that will look like an increase in temperature and then a reduction in temperature, you know. And what we do as stewards on this earth is we stand back and we allow it to happen. We stand back and with love in our hearts, and we go, wow, our great mother, this beautiful divine expression of the great mother, I allow you to change. And I don't think that, I need to recycle more, you know. I go, okay, yes, I love you. You deep, profound, ancient wisdom being. You know, if you speak with Gaia, you know how ancient she is. And when you build that connection with the earth, it's like you trust so deeply. It's like, I am not living in fear right now. Even though there's a million agendas telling me that I should be afraid, I have not 1 ounce of fear in my body, because I trust that there is this deep transformation happening, and I'm honored to be here right now to witness this. This is incredibly, I don't even have words to describe it, okay? This is like magnificent. The transformations and the shifts that are happening across the cosmos right now, they're happening on this planet as like almost like an epicenter of that. And so I stand back and I watch the great mother do her work, because I trust that she knows exactly what the fuck she is doing. And I do not have the arrogance to think that, oh, I need to set up like a foundation and, you know, try and stop certain diseases spreading. And, you know, I could go on, but there are lots of foundations out there right now which are trying to promote this and are really, really trying to make people believe that they are at fault, that they should be ashamed of themselves, that they should not get on the airplanes, that they should not have travel, all of this kind of stuff. And the deeper agendas behind this is like the stop of information, and for people to live in fear, and for people to turn on each other, and for people to live in that state of discord and confusion. And it's that thing of, if you believe that, because what essentially they're saying is that the earth is against you. That's the subconscious underlying messages around that are that the earth is against you. And so if you believe that, your ability to connect with her, your ability to feel her and to know her intimately, which is a God-given birthright for every human on this planet, to know and to understand the soul of Gaia, to really truly understand and know her and feel her and love her, to serve her as she serves us, right? That is our God-given birthright, and that is what they are trying to disrupt. That is what they do not want people to be in connection with, what they do not want people to be in communion with. They want to promote nihilism, that idea that there is no point, that this universe is chaos, and that we are just this blip that somehow exists. You know, I really, you know, I have to cultivate empathy within me when I hear people say that, you know, that there's no point in this world. And it's you know, it saddens me sometimes that people really, really believe that, you know, because if you look at this creation, it is magnificent beyond our belief. It's so incredibly perfect. And everything that is happening right now, even the fact that there are these dark agendas, is providing us with this perfect contrast to anchor in our light and to have a choice and go, actually, I don't want to be part of that. I'm going to focus so hard on myself. I'm going to focus so hard on being of service. And the way we always start being of service is by working on our own shit. You know, that's the greatest way that we begin being of service. And then after we've done a certain amount of our healing, all of our gifts start to anchor in, and we start to realize what it is we're actually meant to be doing on this planet. That is the greatest gift we can offer others, is by doing that inner work, you know. And that's exactly what they're trying to stop us from doing. That's why you're seeing infinite distractions at the moment, you know, so many distractions. And really what we are being called to do is discern, find our truth, find our courage, find our power. It takes real courage to look inside. It takes real courage to look inside ourselves and to go, okay, I need to be working on this. I need to not be checking the news. I need to not be plugging into all of these things that they're trying to make me plug into. I need to bring it back to myself. I need to anchor that in. And so, yes. Thank you for listening to this video. I don't think I have anything else to add. Please feel free to contact me about any of this. I'd love to talk about this stuff, and I think it's getting that balance right of understanding our place within things, you know, but not living in a state of guilt and of shame, you know. That's never going to solve any problems, is by people feeling ashamed of themselves. So if you ever are tapping into any agenda, you're ever tapping into anything which makes you feel ashamed of yourself, that is your warning. That's your red flag to go, what the fuck? Why am I feeling ashamed of myself? You know, it's like we can look at ourselves and look at where our flaws are and where we might need to change things within ourselves without feeling ashamed. Shame is an agenda. Guilt is an agenda. Fear is an agenda. So it's always about, if we are feeling those things, questioning why we're feeling them, tapping into why we're feeling them, because there's a reason for it. So thank you so much. Many blessings on this beautiful day, whatever you get up to, and sending you all of my love. Thank you.